If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, it can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.
I just want to say thank you for everything that you do. You've absolutely changed my life for the positive, and I just want to thank you. I was 29-year-old beta, living at home with my mom, and just was living in fear and in doubt, and I couldn't hold down a job. And then I found you, and I started listening. I started just being more at peace, and I forgave my mom, and I forgave my father. And it's like right after that, everything just changed in my life, and I was able to get a good job, and I moved out, and I live on my own now, and everything has just changed. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for spreading that message. It really is a positive message.
Amazing. That's good, man. I want people to know God loves us in ways that there are no words to express, because you have nothing to compare it to, right? Stay with the silent prayer. You haven't seen anything yet. It gets better. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby. This is my show. Thanks for tuning in, folks, on this fine Tuesday. What a fine Tuesday it is to be back. We got a show for you. We got to get into some things, okay? We got to get into a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Our viewers are here. Your calls, your super chats, okay? So thank you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's show a little decorum. Let's show a little manners to our lovely viewers here on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. How you doing? Jules Talk Show. Is your name Red for a reason? Is that a particular thing about Rumble? Just realizing now. Let me know. YouTube, how you doing, YouTube? Always here, appreciate it. You could super chat, you could support, you could subscribe, you can like, you can leave a comment, all that. And of course, the people on punchy.tv/Anchor Baby. Incredible. So thanks. You're all here. We've shown some manners. We've shown some decorum. You're clicking the like button. You're saying hello at least. Make a noise. Have an opinion. Breathe. Like, it's like, just die otherwise. No, don't die. Don't die. I'm just saying it's like you're already dead. So, or like an animal. You're walking in with your white socks and they're all dirty on the bottom and you're already asking for a plate and you're asking for the aux cord for the music. It's like you just got here. Okay, can you have some manners? Can you say hello? You don't even have a woman with you. Yeah, you make your own plate. You know, is that a like an ethnic thing? Is that an ethnic thing? You make your own plate. Oh, you don't even come in with a wife/girlfriend. You're like, hey, somebody make me a plate. Excuse me, I don't see your mama around here. Okay, enough of that. The analogy, the metaphors. Okay, enough. That's enough fun. Appreciate it, though. Thanks for tuning in. 888-775-3773. I got your calls coming in. I see you, and I'll get to you. In fact, we might do something different today. Show some love to the callers at the outset. Incredible. What's up, Jit? We got our Arctic Sentry. Nice to see you in the chat. I know that the Arctic Circle has just been safe. Because, you know, it's like if the Arctic Sentry's not in the chat, I'm sure they're still watching the circle. And so we got the Arctic figured out. We got Canada figured out. We got NORAD. We got NORAD in the chat. We got my wife makes me a plate. Haha. Based. I mean, if we're talking about plate making, is it based? That's based, right? So anyways, what else? We're riffing here. You're here. I'm saying hello. What's up, Carver? How you doing, Hake Report? We got Bonds in the chat. Mortensen, the taking care of business. Harry Potter, Pooper. What? How you doing? The Hessian hyena. Zenny. We got Canada in the chat. I'm sure NORAD, meaning the Canadians in the chat in the north, watching the north. You know what NORAD is? It's like, what the heck is Nikki even talking about? Isn't NORAD the combined organization of the U.S. and Canada providing air defense for North America? So we got Arctic Circle. What's up, Jim? We got our NORAD. We got our Constellation of Defense. All in the chat. It's amazing. That's so funny. So anyways, what else? 888-775-3773. There's something else I'm forgetting. There's something else in my mind. You know what? This is unsolicited and maybe only for one person. Sometimes when you're heavily criticized, it's best to let it go in one ear, out the other. And if you have a particular response to it, maybe some of it's true. And so instead of taking it as an insult, take it as a tip and move on. Okay, anyways, so what's up, callers? I think I'm going to show some love to the callers. Yeah. I see that, Derek. Thanks. In fact, I know what he's talking about. So I think we're going to show some love to the callers. 888-775-3773. Man, I need to do something else. It doesn't matter. It'll come up. Buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby, my super chatters who want to support. Leave a message. On Rumble and on YouTube as well. I think that's all of our housekeeping. No, Mr. Superman no is here. So anyways, is that enough fanfare? Is that enough? What do you call it? Is that enough housekeeping? I think we got Canada we got Canada on the line, in fact. We got NORAD waiting on hold patiently. And, the chat, we'll get to the chat and the super chatters and everything, okay? We got some time here. I'm sure I'll remember. I got Jermaine out of Canada, though, who has been waiting patiently. I do appreciate it. Jermaine, Canada, how you been, sir? Nice to hear from you.
Nick, good to hear from you, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
We love this anchor, baby.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Nick, I sent you a clip yesterday. Before you play it, I didn't know this clip is copyrighted. Because I looked for this clip, for a while, and I couldn't find it. I only find, half of it. So I wanted the full. It's a 30-second clip, but it's still copyrighted. On the internet, It's 15 seconds. So it makes sense why they only put 15 seconds. Because, why would they put 15 seconds? So I find half of it in English, and the next half is in Korean or Japanese, whatever it's in. So I put it together, and it ended up being 30 seconds.
Oh, you found two parts. Okay, and so I shouldn't play this. You're telling me I shouldn't play it?
I mean, if you play 15 seconds and then stop it and then talk, then yeah, I'll be fine.
Because I got this.
The full 30 seconds, it's gonna give a copyright.
Well, then I'll only briefly play it because I did in fact check it out because I got you here in my super chats. Buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Jermaine, very supportive, sending us a viewer video. He was asking, hey, Nick, what do you think? This is funny. And he sent me a little clip here. I mean, since you're talking about it, Jermaine, I'm going to play mere seconds. Appreciate the warning. I appreciate the warning. I haven't seen it myself. I have not seen it myself, but this says ICE pulling up on illegals. This looks like enemy. Are you on the enemy, sir?
Oh, yeah.
You can answer that in a second. Okay, ICE pulling up on illegals.
You imperial bastards!
Welcome to the fatherland. What's the purpose of your visit? Business or pleasure? Can I see your visa?
How dare you mock us!
Yes. Pulling up with magic shields. I don't know. She was more intimidating once this magic shield stopped this bullet. I don't know what peasant this is shooting bullets at shooting mere ballistics at, I don't know, a magical being. Yes, that's how ICE should be, or at least it is in my mind. Coming down to the peasantry, say, get out. I don't know. I haven't seen this anime. What is this?
It's the Saga of Tanya the Devil.
I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, it's out for a while, and a lot of people don't know about it. But I was just sitting at home and I've seen one episode, but I've never really got into it. So I start really watching it again. I'm like, wow, it reminds me of the war that is happening right now in America and in Iran, because I don't want to give spoil if you're gonna watch it. It's very interesting. It's war concept, and man, everything JLP talks about, I see in this movie, in this anime, and I'm like, this is not my favorite anime.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
Interesting, sir. I mean, I like the toughness and the asking for your papers, and I like that. What's up with all the anime? Now this is just the nitpick and judger, because what's up with all the anime? Like, you can animate anything. You can literally draw it's animation, right? You could draw and animate everything, but all these animes are always these like little girls. Is it just me? It's always like little girl. Now, I'm not talking too much ish. You don't have to defend it too hard. Let me just say this: you don't have to defend it too hard because I'm not talking ish.
Kind of.
Because I saw Overlord recently and I liked it, so I don't get to talk anything.
They're anime sells to males, right? Pretty much males, and they're trying to they captivate them with the look. The sexuality is in there too. You can see it.
Yes.
But for me, I rather watch anime than movies. Movies are boring. It's just brainwashing, and I can't deal with that. I rather not watch it. So I watch anime, and anime is cool. I like the drawing and coloring because I can draw, so I'm very into. I wanted to actually be what do you call it? An animator at one point. I just never fully go and did it. Yeah. Yeah,
that's interesting. I wouldn't have
really
thought
good
that.
At drawing. Yeah,
but I wouldn't have thought that. But it's an interesting skill. Yeah, that's cool, man.
It's just that in America, you have to be in like Tokyo, Japan, in those places to get in this big studio. I think that's why I didn't pursue it anymore. I'm like, whatever, because it's big over there. But now it's big here in America and Canada. It's a big business now. So maybe I missed out.
And honestly, I'd even put it like this because, in terms of doing like an artistic pursuit, in this case, animation, drawing, or think musician. At least you and I, with our age, maybe when we were growing up, they told us you could be anything you want. Just go to school, just study whatever you want. And then maybe we scoffed and thought, well, what's the pathway there? So I'm just going to do this passion, but I'm not really going to make money. Like, it doesn't make sense. So I'm not saying we were right or wrong for that, but put it like this. Consider that years after, and I don't know if you even thought that, but I did. Consider that years went by, and now I look at the world. And now with the internet, with your own social media, your own personal YouTube, your own personal social media, there's all sorts of these so-called people who should be, starving artists, and they're doing fine on the internet, just showing their art. And maybe they didn't become an animator in a studio, but it doesn't have to be that rigid in this modern world of content creation, etc. Just to like open up your mind a bit. If you had stuck to one thing, a skillful thing, there's no reason. Who knows what you could have leveraged? How you could have leveraged it.
That's very true.
There's so many. The possibilities continue, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I see all these people just like who stayed getting good at one thing, and then now they have now they're like doing stuff with it, and it's not what they thought, but yeah, it's just like, look, I can still draw for a living in a sense. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I see a lot of good artwork on the internet. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Well,
but Nick, will you say something?
No, please go ahead.
I'm gonna send you another one. This one is not copyrighted. 2 minutes. The dialogue is just very interesting. Very interesting. I'll send it and you can look at it and see what you want to do with it. But
nice.
Man, it reminds me of Trump in this position. Trump is in this position, and to see an anime display it how it was displayed, it was phenomenal because people out here they're talking about whatever they want to talk about, but they're not behind the scene seeing what Trump has to deal with. No one knows what he's dealing with. We're just outside talking. All noise. That's all I hear, noise. That's it. So this clip that I'll send, it was just too perfect for this scene, for what's going on right now.
Send it over, sir. I'll check it out.
Sweet. All right, we'll chat again. Have a good one.
Thanks, Jermaine. Call me again.
Sounds good.
888-775-3773. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Saga of Tonya the Evil. It looks like a new anime. I can't say and I don't dislike it, by the way. I think I've seen some really good stuff. I've seen some stuff I very much enjoyed over the years, but it's not something. Can't think of one, for example. So my criticism may be a little ignorant, but is that just me? Like it's like you have this. You can animate anything. You can draw anything, and it's always like these little girls. These little girls as an army general, little girl destroying a Titan, little girl, it's one of those quirks of animation. See, it came from, I don't even know why, you don't even need to hear this. Just factoid, Nick. If it's related, I got the facts for it, I'm going to tell it to you. Call me ChatGPT. But you might be familiar with Shonen Jump. This all started in Japan with this magazine called Shonen Jump. And it's like a weekly issued magazine of different mangas or whatever. And the most popular ones would be like the front page ones. And then there'd be a whole bunch of less popular ones to see if they got any popularity and if they would make it to like the next issue. Well, how do you stand out to children in Japan weekly? Well, you got to make characters that are very compelling, either insane looking or nowadays sexual. But anyways, it's one of those things, but whatever. Anyways, factoids. How about we jump into something here, okay? How about we jump into something and we'll get to your super chats, your coffees, and all that. Oh, I don't even have my packet open. Here we go. That's right. I wanted to deal with this. I've been meaning to deal with this, right? So we're going to jump into this Walmart shooting. As I've had some super chatter bring it up. And I remembered I actually wanted to cover it. And now we can get to your super chats. Now we'll be able to get to your super chats, Eric. But first, I want to deal with this Walmart shooting thing that happened. Now it happened a while. Honestly, it happened the first day of White History Month. July 1st. First day of White History Month. A Walmart dispute that turned deadly. You've heard about it, maybe. You've maybe even seen some of the news, but it's been half of the month now. And this case remains like the person involved is not necessarily hasn't been charged. Not that they won't be, but that's where it remains. So I wanted to deal with it. We're in Florida for this one. North Lauderdale, Florida, where a woman fatally shot a 62-year-old man in the parking lot of a Walmart. Okay, this was like around July 1st, 2026, and it was all over an argument over a parking space. A parking space. It ended with the man dying. The victim, identified as Bart DiGuglielmo, a retired U.S. Army Staff Sergeant and veteran from Lauderhill, Florida. According to the Broward Sheriff's Office, he and an unidentified woman got into a verbal dispute over this parking spot. The situation escalated. Can't really hear or tell if there's a lot of yelling, but one thing that is clearly visible in the video is the woman bringing out a firearm, bringing out a gun, pointing it at him. And the altercation sort of trying to fizzle out / remaining, but at one point, it seems like Bart, the man in this situation, takes a step towards the lady with the gun. Not the first step towards her. Been a little bit of back and forth, but this time, for whatever reason, she decided to shoot. Struck him once in the abdomen, and he was taken to the hospital and then later pronounced dead. The woman stayed on the scene. She cooperated with the investigators and told them it was in self-defense. That's the reason she did that. She reportedly warned the man to back off before shooting him. As of yet, no charges have been filed, but there is an ongoing investigation. And there's video evidence of this thing. And then we'll get to calls. I'll get to you. Thanks for holding patiently. 888-775-3773. There's video of the incident and all that. Witnesses nearby on their cell phones were filming a nearby Tesla dash cam. And it shows them arguing. It shows the man, even in his final moments, moving towards her before she fires. And then 911, and them arriving, the immediate chaos afterwards, and even some bystanders reacting to the shooting. And it appears to have started over this parking dispute. It turned physical eventually, and it led her to draw and fire her gun. It's hard to say how it started, or whose car was who or what. So like I said, some video is out, and the news clips have been out for a bit.
This morning,
This might remind you a little bit of the story, so let's sink our teeth into this one briefly, as this is some of that reporting when it initially happened.
This morning, the ongoing investigation into a deadly confrontation in Florida, a parking space dispute turning deadly outside a Walmart. 62-year-old Bart DeGuglielmo shot and killed.
Female shot someone outside in the parking lot. Both out there were fighting over a parking spot.
Authorities say the altercation started about 5 minutes earlier, with the two drivers fighting over a parking spot. DeGuglielmo then parked his car, partially blocking the spot, and walked into the store. Witnesses say the woman then managed to slip into the spot anyway. The woman is then seen getting out of her car, phone in one hand, gun in the other, yelling at DeGuglielmo, who appears to be yelling back. He's then seen walking toward her as she points the gun at him. She backs up several times, gun leveled. She retreats around a car. He follows. An eyewitness says the woman repeatedly warned him she'll shoot if he keeps coming at her. He appears to leave, but then quickly returns. And then she opens fire, shooting DeGuglielmo. Police then take the woman into custody. Officials say she claims she was acting in self-defense. Now, that woman is no longer in custody, and the shooting is under current investigation. Prosecutors will have to decide what charges, if any at all, are warranted. Really, guys, it's just a question of, is this self-defense or not?
Yeah, but unnecessary with a parking spot.
So, was it self-defense? So you're maybe remembering the story now a little bit. And it's like, that's the question, right? Was it self-defense? For some, it's clear. For some, it's clear-cut. Obviously, it was self-defense. This guy was walking up to her. She told him clearly, you gotta go away. For others, it's clear. She was not in any imminent threat. So when you have something like that, it's actually not clear. The opinions are split. And it's for the following reasons. For example, what does the evidence show from the videos and the reports? Well, you could see so far that this dispute started verbally. It seemed to be this dispute that began verbally and again reportedly over this parking spot. The woman drew her gun and held it while also on her phone and telling the man to walk away, to back off. At various moments, she backed up herself, moved around and tried to create distance. And at times, DeGuglielmo advanced towards her. At times, he was leaving, and at times, she advanced towards him. She fired one shot after he followed her around the vehicle. That's how the Fox News describes it. So those are some of the things we've seen, some of the, the evidence in the videos and the reporting. But why is it so split? Why is it so split? I mean, some view it as self-defense. In Florida, which is a stand-your-ground state, you are allowed to defend yourself. Florida has strong laws for those who choose to defend themselves. The thing about stand your ground is if this lady reasonably feared imminent death or great bodily harm, she had no duty to retreat. She didn't have to do that. To those on the self-defense view, that she tried to de-escalate by warning, backing away. Him continue to advance, especially on a person who is now armed with a gun, can be seen as great threat. What if you lose the gun to this advancing attacker? You don't know what's going to happen, especially in a heated confrontation. She then afterwards stayed, cooperated with the police. And so that's the view of self-defense. But there are some who see it as it's not justified at all. You see, this thing started off as a petty, somebody call it a petty verbal argument. Not a robbery, not an assault, not an attack. No threatening gestures, not even an initial contact was ever made. No initial contact was made. Nobody touched each other. In fact, some would argue that drawing that gun so early on in a verbal argument is the escalation itself. And that a 62-year-old man approaching, even angrily somewhat, after a verbal spat, doesn't meet the requirements, doesn't meet the threshold of imminent deadly threat, a standard for this lethal force, at least in Florida. And so some call it unnecessary or even murder. So, those are some of the facts, I guess. The evidence, the law, stand your ground. There's even been similar situations in Florida. Situations that happen in a parking lot, actually. No less, or believe it or not. In a parking lot, there was actually a case, the handicapped parking shooting. It was between these individuals, Michael Draka and Marquise McLaughlin. His last name is McLaughlin. And it's the black guy. Marquise McLaughlin. So anyways, these two guys, parking lot, Clearwater parking lot, Florida Clearwater parking lot shooting. And essentially one guy, armed, concealed, confronted a woman who was parked in a handicap spot. She thought this woman shouldn't have been in this handicap spot. Her boyfriend, who was unarmed, came out and shoved the armed individual to the ground. This person, now on the ground, drew his gun and shot McLaughlin, the man who shoved him, who was backing away after the shove, reportedly. The way that one ended, well, initially, sheriffs declined to arrest the shooter in this one, citing the stand your ground law. And then what eventually happened with that is the investigation finished, and a prosecutor decided to charge him anyway. And then he was tried in front of a jury of his peers, and a jury convicted him of manslaughter. Not murder, but he got manslaughter over that. 20 years in prison. So, a lot of debate, a lot of controversy for this, and a lot of things that are being brought up about it, like, oh man, but blacks are a certain way. But what about Carmelo Anthony? And all these other things, all these auxiliary things. And you know what? I'm not saying they're not pertinent. But I don't know how all of that matters. For me, it was this moment, and I'm going to play some of this footage. This is heavily censored. I think this is the heavily censored one. Yes, this is a censored Bambinos. There might be a swear word, but I think those are censored as well. But you know what to do, parents. If you love them, shield their. I don't know. For me, it was this moment that tells me, and I'm going to show you the moment here. Maybe even some of the whole video, just as a sort of video breakdown. But the moment where he actually gets shot, it's quite clear to me, actually. For me, let's say I was on a jury. With the things I've mentioned so far, how the law is and all that, it would then be up to you to then decide, well, is this reasonable? Was this reasonable? And I'm going to show you the moment that made, for me, it told me it really wasn't. It really was not reasonable. And it could even be, it could be some sort of self-defense, but there was a moment where I think it went wrong. And I have my opinions why, and so many people do, but it's kind of secondary. It's kind of what I was trying to say earlier. But look, so you have your discretion is advised, but I mean, it's censored. I'm going to show, hopefully we get to the part what I'm talking about here early. But it starts off with we jump in the middle, really. We jump in the middle of it. And she's exiting some vehicle. This other vehicle is about to pull off. This guy's walking up to her. That's the victim. That's the one that got shot. And she's already got the gun out. You understand? She came out of the vehicle with a gun. So obviously this altercation had been going on before this video started. She is now pointing the gun at him. She's backing away, sure. We see these moments, and it seems like they're still going back and forth, blah, 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 blah. And he wants to continue. He wants to continue this altercation with her. Not very smart. Not very smart. So at this point, it looks like he's starting to walk away. But then for some ill-advised reason, he turns back one last time to continue speaking with her. And it's at this moment that she's going to shoot him. But look, this is the part for me that tells me why it's unreasonable, at least this moment. Because look, folks, he just walked up. Like, they were talking, sure. What I'm saying here is that, like, he's not. What I'm saying is that he barely walked up. He's like a full. Look how he's pretty far, in my opinion. And that's just my opinion. But like, that's just how I feel about it. Like, he just kind of barely walked up at this point. He really just barely walked up. And there's like an ongoing conversation, altercation. And he's thinking maybe, she's not going to shoot me or something. Dumb. Really dumb for him to think that. Really stupid. Oh, she's not going to shoot me or who knows what. And you know, when I was watching this, I can see why one would think that, because, okay, if there was a point where they're going to shoot me, it wasn't this one when I'm walking. Do you understand what I'm saying with this one? It's like he's just barely walked up. Like, she already had the gun up, and that was the deterrent in a sense. It just, in my opinion, was too quick of a decision there. Was too quick of a decision. So who knows what'll happen with this? It might go that a prosecutor hits her with something lesser, some sort of manslaughter, something, because the argument is, was it like a reasonable threat? Was she at reasonable imminent threat? And in my opinion, at this moment where she shot him, she wasn't. I mean, you shouldn't be advancing on someone with a gun. You should be not fighting with blacks who are angry over a parking spot. Really, anybody, because at this day and age, what I'm saying, not this day and age, but what I'm saying is that these days, you don't know what someone's going to do. And then especially someone who's black and then you're white, you're going to have no help by the law, by the media, no fairness, and they've already got a chip on their shoulder. I don't know what she's thinking, and I almost don't even want to go into this. But Carmelo Anthony was on the minds of many blacks. And they're full of assumptions right now, in more than ever, I think. You know, it was always this assumption of racism and all that. But now the assumptions I'm seeing coming out of the blacks, it's next level. Like Nolan Wells. He was just hanging out with white kids, and now he's dead. Those white kids killed him. And I'm waiting until someone tells me the truth, or else you're lying to me, racist America. Carmelo Anthony was defending himself or some crap. Meanwhile, he was hiding a knife. No one knew that he had that knife, and then he stabbed someone. They're shocked. This guy's not supposed to be here. This guy's not supposed to be here, and the blacks all defend him just because he's black. So, you know, I think it was quite mutual for a while there. I think it was quite mutual. And in fact, he was really on the edge, in my opinion. He was really, really on the edge of maybe a reasonable shoot in my mind. He really was on the edge. But again, in this very moment right here, like I said, the way he just walks up, like he's not, like it was just he's still like the whole length of the car away. And I think she got way ahead of herself through nerves, through thoughts, through, I don't know what it was, through anger. Oh, white people can't do this to me. Oh, Carmelo defended himself. Or I don't know if it was even that deep in her mind. Maybe I'm kind of evil for even suggesting that. But it wasn't, it's not reasonable. It's not, so that's what I was thinking. That's just my opinion. And initially, when I was looking at this, honestly, I had this because I had more people commenting and sending it to me than anything before even checking it out myself. And what a lot of people were saying was stuff that had nothing to do with this. And honestly, for a moment, I'm like, this is fine, and he shouldn't have gone up to her like that. And all that. But when I saw this moment, for me personally, when I saw this moment, this wasn't the moment to shoot. It just wasn't to me. This wasn't the moment to shoot. To me. Anyways, that being said, it really, in a lot of ways, he forfeited his life for being angry over a parking space and not knowing what people could do with a gun. So what else was I thinking about this? Because, there's some. You guys have some comments on this, and I wanted to read them. But yeah, like I said, like initially, even I'm thinking it's kind of clear. Stand your ground. You got your. He's advancing on you. He's advancing, but it's not that clear cut. It's not. When you see these other cases, like the one in Clearwater, the guy was hit by the other unarmed party first, shoved to the ground and everything. And he's like, "What? No, I'm going to defend myself." Shoots him, kills him. And he got manslaughter because what the jury in that one, what they considered was, well, who was the initial aggressor? It's a number of things that you can consider, that a jury could consider. And so it's like, who was the initial aggressor? Could you imagine two people? There's this story going around right now, and I forget which mall and where. These guys were just in a fist fight, and one guy ends up taking out a gun and shoots him, kills him. He's like, "No, I feared for my life." But it turns out that guy who had the gun started the fight was looking for someone to shoot. Like, these are the things that are in consideration. And so, yeah, anyways. That's why I was thinking it's maybe on the edge. It really is maybe on the edge for this one, but for me, it really was that moment. Like, there were far more threatening moments that she didn't shoot, and then, because it's not as simple as just, well, I'm in a self-defense situation. I could do whatever. I could do anything. It turns out it's not that clear. Not in Florida law, etc. What else was I going to say about this? So yeah, it was on the fence for me, but that's how I feel about it. But you guys got some comments on this, and I want to get to you guys and your calls. I see you waiting. 888-775-3773. So where were y'all? I got you guys right here. Buymeacoffee.com/anchor, baby. I don't know, man. If the roles were reversed, she would probably get hammered, seeing as everyone is tired of blacks at this point. Wait, what? Yeah, but then that would be wrong. Wait, what are you saying? He did. I don't know, man. I think if the roles were reversed, she would probably get like if the black woman was killed and the guy was defending himself, she'd be like, yeah, why is she walking up on him and all that? Yeah, you might be right, but black fatigue isn't a heuristic of anything. That's just your emotional. That's just like your emotions. That's not really a good heuristic. So Eric sent me some coffees about this. I mean, I don't even feel that strongly. I'm just giving my take on it, okay? Maybe I'm wrong. But for me, it was that moment. I don't know. You got to watch yourself. But Eric here, he's got some coffees. buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. And he really wanted me to cover this one. And I got you right here, sir. Thanks. He says, he's quoting me, not very smart of him. Can we agree, not very smart of the guy at all? I was saying that initially when I think seeing this Friday with you guys. And so Eric's commenting on that. He says, I'm preaching to the choir. It goes without saying. Intelligence isn't in question. Neither are smart, and it misses the point. The situation is two devils. They both lack common sense. They're controlled by the ego. They're two losers desperate for a win. Physically, they're roughly the same size. Both out of shape, 50s, 60s, both tense, angry. The man, 62, limpy, beer gut. Woman, 50s, aggressive, loud, armed. He says the blacks love to instigate fights and then play victim. Hate, resent whites. Women are more emotionally abusive. Wordplay. She's yelling at the man repeatedly to antagonize the man because she knows she has a gun. Ask, was she looking for a way out of the confrontation or into the confrontation? Self-defense would avoid the confrontation. Self-defense would find another parking spot. A person concerned with defending their physical self wouldn't instigate a confrontation. The situation, ego defense, two egos trying to win, pride is of the devil. The main point is if the woman is allowed to pull a gun on the man, there's nothing stopping citizens from pulling guns on the blacks every time they chimp out and advance their position. This is kind of, yeah. I mean, there was so much that I can't respond to it all, but just initially I'm just thinking, Eric, I think you're right. It's just, what is it I'm thinking of? Essentially, like, put it like this. You're saying there's nothing stopping citizens from pulling guns on the blacks every time they chimp out of it. But that is your, like, let's say you're in Florida, that would be your right, in a sense. You'd have the same one as her. Now, it's just a matter of, like the race thing unfairly putting the thumb on the scale against you. But isn't this some of that, like, assumption because of, like, black fatigue? Remember, the blacks' egos, due to their rap culture conditioning, is highly sensitive to disrespect. So then, don't fight. And if they're pointing a gun at you, leave, because you're about to lose your life. Now, citizens can argue with the blacks over the most insignificant things, then point a gun at them and say, bet you won't, and the spirit of their mother forces the blacks to F around and find out. But that's not exactly what, we don't know if that's what happened here. It's just like, I bet you won't, and she's daring him, like, we jumped into this middle of this altercation. So some of this is assumption, is really all I'm saying about that. And that's honestly why initially I was like, I don't know, guys, like, this could just be self-defense. But again, for me, it was that moment. When he walked up, that wasn't the moment to shoot. That's just for me. But it was some of this that I was thinking, like, this is some assumption. This is some assumption that I can't really, for whatever. So he says, for example, guys who can fight lure unsuspecting, drunk, inebriated guys into fights every weekend. It was never a fair, authentic fight to begin with. It was always a lie. Yeah, exactly. I agree. And that's why this is not a clear-cut thing. And that's why I was looking at other precedents too, because like the handicap shooting one, the guy was armed, attacked someone, the unarmed guy, put hands on the armed guy first. The guy defended himself, right? Shot him dead. But that guy got 20 years. That guy got 20 years for manslaughter. Eric says, why is Chud the Builder in jail and this woman isn't? Because he's white. Because he's white. But also because this woman didn't have the notoriety that Chud had. I'm not saying it's right what's going on with him, but Chud isn't convicted. There's still a trial coming. And it's unfair in that he's gotten this insane bail that no one's ever gotten in that state, I heard. Even like some of the worst murderers have never gotten bail set this high. And it's because of the black-white thing. And the other things. Eric says, what specifically gives her the right to point a gun at him? Just because I have a gun pointed at you doesn't give me the right to tell you what to do. Otherwise, anytime I get into a confrontation, I could say I feel threatened and point a gun at their head while I yell N-word, back yo monkey A up before I send you to meet your maker. It's very specific. This is very specific. The blacks likely aren't going to comply with my commands. So is it legal to shoot the ones that walk forward? Yeah, on that, Eric, I'd say no. It depends on the situation. Just because you're in a verbal argument, even if it's angry or heated, and even if they might take a step forward, and even if I initially felt like, hey, you're stepping forward, I could kill you. Turns out I'm wrong about that. Yeah, it's not legal, in fact. So that's just how it is. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm not staying. I'm not going to stay there and argue. I'm not saying, well, it's my legal right, so I want to die, and then I would deserve it. I would deserve it. I don't feel bad for this guy. It's just a matter of the law and how a jury would see it, and being a fair jury person. But yeah, that's some of this stuff. I know, Eric, I appreciate your coffees on this. I wanted to get to you there. What do y'all think? I mean, it's a little bit on the fence for me. What do y'all think? The standards are getting so low now, people think Chud the Builder is some sort of martyr. I mean, why is it you can't, it's only got to be like that in your mind? I say a good thing about Chud, and it's like I agree with everything or something. You say one good thing about Lindsey Graham, and it's like, oh, okay, that's not very smart. It's a simple thing in my head. Why is Chud in the position he's in? It has nothing to do with, I agree with him going around saying the N-word. He's a great guy, or he's the noble guy. Like, it's about the law. And the guy defended himself. So what's the point of being like, oh, yeah, the standards are low. He's a loser. And you're a loser. You don't see it either because you agree with... Have some distinction here. Try and have some distinction here. You know? Let's move on to something else. Let's kill the ego. I got callers, 888-775-3773. We got to Jermaine Super Chat, who's at the top there. We already did that. I appreciate your call earlier. No, he's in. No. Because remember, he's not convicted. Chud is like waiting trial. And he could be waiting trial. Like he said, he wanted to pay his bail and all that. But it could be, put it like this. In my mind, it's just like this. If it was anybody else in his position, they'd be able to pay their bail. And they may not, and I don't think they would have gotten such a high bail set. Because even like the worst murderer in Tennessee, or I forget where this happened, they were showing, this was going around if you remember, they were showing how like the worst murder in Tennessee didn't even get a fraction of the bail amount that was set for Chud the Builder. Now he could be a loser, but tell me, that's like emotional proclivities at play by the judges and stuff. Like, well, no, we can't have that racism here, and he's going around saying the big no-no word. It shows like what our society holds as like the greatest evil. You know, it's not like hating. It's not like judging or having having like an unfair view in the law. No, our society venerates that. As long as you're a different color, you can have the law treat you differently, and it would be okay. It would be morally right. Because you can't say that word. That's how I see it. That's just how I see the Chud thing. You know. But yeah, what else was that? I mean, what are you guys saying about this? We're gonna move on. Don't worry, kill the ego. We're gonna move on. Yeah, it seems somewhat split. It was self-defense. It wasn't. Doom Jesus is saying it definitely wasn't self-defense. He definitely he's yelling it. He'll let you know. Yeah. You might be right. I don't feel too strongly about this Walmart shooting one. You might, in fact, be right. In a perfect world, everybody would have a gun, and that would be a non-issue. Interesting. Chat's so nasty. Nick's chat is not rated G. I know. Keep your kids out of Nick's, the Anchor Baby Snake Pit chat. I'm saying if she had the gun and she was approaching him, we'd all be saying, oh, yeah, more blacks being ignorant. She probably deserved it. I don't know. Maybe, yeah, the public, but this is, I don't know if you've, we're a little bit, we're sometimes different. Bond. I can see James right now being quite fair-minded and scrutinizing the moments if he did such a thing, if he even cared about such a video. Yeah, you might be right. What else? All right, we got your super chats. Your calls are coming in. I really want to get to all of you. I just kept saying, what are you guys saying? So I don't want to just not see what you're saying, like as if I didn't mean it. It's like, oh, that's just something you say? You don't really? Are you not really reading what we're saying? Nit, please just play the Boondocks moment clip. Oh. Here. Boondocks can say it. And we're going to leave it, you know what? We're going to leave it to Thugnificent. I think he said it best.
Now this right here.
I think Thugnificent said it best, folks.
This is where I grew up. I seen everything, man. Everything. I seen the nigga get killed right over there, you know? They beat him up, stomped him, shot the dude, stomped the nigga again, and then I seen him take a dump on the dude. I swear to God, man, they actually, shot a deuce on this nigga, man. You know what I'm saying? They shot on the nigga, man. And I started thinking to myself, man, what did he do to make them niggas that mad?
I think that to myself daily. I think this all the time. Such a question goes through my mind daily. So anyways. I'm going to get to my super chatters here and my callers. Thank you for your support. Lin Yan Chin, man, I appreciate your... How you been, Lin Yan Chin? Wait, hold on. Let me start with... Let me do this in order. How you doing, Lin Yan Chin? Says, my power level dropped so far from last summer. Now on my way back up. We'll need 18 weeks to restore level 2. I blat and slow. I'm back on a regimen too. Like, I've been just maintaining, but I mean, I need to... It's just kind of been even, and the lean out phase has... It's been a bit of a downturn in power level, but not significant. Not significant because of my maintenance. I'm going to increase, but it was really Derek, Lin Yan Chin, I must say. It was actually young Derek. Powerful young Derek talking about his power level. And I thought, you know what? It's time to train. So Lin Yan Chin, nice to hear that you are continuing. He says, who is this? Oh, Lord Goodhair. LGH. James Hake, I believe. Lord Goodhair, he says, has terrible sense of other people's internal timing. Can't even read JLP after all these years. Neither of them can understand my use of words. It seems like, to me, it seems like James understands you, but it's the matter of translating to then others that which is already known in his mind, which requires no words in his mind, to then try to give it words to others. Well, I'm sure even the first Bible writers had a Similar issue. Carver with the super chat says IRL backpack documentary, Nit buying a gun in California. I don't even get it. Like, is that? Oh, okay, I get it. Like, I should film me trying to buy a gun in California, right? Is that what do you think it's gonna be? Are you like knowledgeable that it's gonna be good content? In my mind, I'm thinking I'll go to a California gun shop and they'll either sell me a gun that's not illegal, right? It's a gun shop and they're going to have regulation guns there, right? In my mind, they would just either sell it to me or say, hey, why are your glasses blinking? You can't film in here. Get out. So maybe you know something I don't know. It would be a whole headache. You have to take a course and everything. Hey, if you guys want to see it, I'll do it. I actually just got a very interesting key piece of gear that changes the whole clunkiness of that backpack I had. Version 2, call this version 3. It's really cool. It's like it's a lot easier. It was kind of clunky before, all the moving parts. So it might be worth. And so thanks for the support, Carver. Amazing super chats. What else we got here? We got more super chats. Thank you, Lin Yan Chin. Says, blouse caliber is the sacred sword of sparkle that Jesus habbed to Nick on his 3rd birthday, sealed in his heart as instrument to shatter all evil. I have not played that game in a while. Now, it's not called blouse caliber. You're referencing Soul Calibur, right? I didn't think I'd hear a Soul Calibur reference. I feel like that's an Unk title for sure. I feel like, I think this is a certified Unk title. A certified game for Unks. Soul Calibur, shout out. We need the blouse caliber. The sword of the blouse. He says, Jesus gave me this on his 3rd birthday, sealed in his heart as an instrument to shatter all evil. That is lore correct, Lin Yan Chin, I must say. That is lore, that is correct on the lore. So shout out to the Unks. Okay. Shout out to the Unks. All right, okay, so what I got here? 888-775-3773. Thanks for the patience. I want to get to Barent, Florida. Appreciate your call, sir. You're on the air.
Hey, Nicholas.
How you been, sir? Nice to hear from you.
Hold on, let me get your speaker right on.
Thank you.
Hey, dude. I just wanted to talk to you about some current events.
I'd love to.
Okay, did you see the Prime Minister of Iraq was in the Oval Office today?
I didn't. You said the Prime Minister of Iraq, my bad. Iraq in the Oval Office today. What for?
Okay, so do you know the whole eastern area of Iraq is bordered by Iran?
Is that true?
Yes. And it's a river. It's Al Sharat, I think, is the river that separates Iraq from Iran. And I'm just going to tell you right now that Iraq is going to take over that whole river system to the east of Iraq. Once Iran negates, all relinquency of that territory, because Iraq is going to become like the new Kuwait. even though it's got that little tip right on the Strait of Hormuz, you gotta do a little geography to see this, but all these countries are gone after all these corrupt countries. And you saw how Donald Trump went to Turkey, and Turkey is on the other side of Iran. And you just got to see how he's squeezing the cabal out of the whole world. He's just like decimating them.
So I've seen that they're bombing him pretty heavy. The conflict
yeah,
continues.
well,
but Iran,
that's
you're saying, is
what,
going to control this large area concerning this river. And so what makes you say that?
Right. Yeah, you have to understand it's about how these people have controlled us for over 100 years with this oil. You know, they said it was a fossil fuel. They said it, you know, it's going to run out just like the icebergs, and the water's going to rise. You know, it's just all fear and loathing. And
but where are you getting this
showing
from?
them, huh?
But where are you getting this from?
So today I saw Donald Trump with the Prime Minister in the Oval Office.
Right.
Yeah, and he was saying great things. And then I did a Google Earth, and I realized that the whole eastern side of that country is bordered by Iran, and Iran owns the river that those two back up to, and once Iran falls, Iraq is going to take over all that river. I wish I could tell you the name of it. If you could get one of your guys to just Google search that river, it borders, it's like almost 3,000 miles of river.
It's not the Euphrates, is it?
And Iran owns that. And it's all going to fall, and Iraq is going to go into there for their agricultural, and with all their oil production, with that little tip that comes out into the Strait of Hormuz, if they could build that out like Kuwait, those guys would be gravy, you know. And these people are starting to they're starting to realize that this Muslim, you know, ideology is not conducive to a Western society where you can grow and prosper. And it's so incredible to watch this thing grow because so many people are waking up, Nicholas, you know?
That's pretty exciting. I mean, I don't know how true it is. It's just but it's true exciting because this is what I've gathered from what you're saying. To summarize, essentially, that these are all the signs of this Muslim world going towards this like how Saudi Arabia and Iraq and the Gulf states like Qatar and Oman, and how they're like pro-Western and they make deals and they work with America and how that's going to happen to Iran, essentially, is what you're saying, right? Is that what essentially you're saying?
And you got to understand that
Did I get you right in that? Just so that I'm following along? Okay.
Exactly. And you got to realize how the liberals have been demolishing this country for 80 years, you know, and making it like a dystopia. Well, why is America a dystopia? Why are there people strung out on drugs living on the sidewalks? Why, you know?
Well, why?
Why? Yeah, why? Because they want it that way. They don't want you to think that America is great. They don't want you to go back in your history and realize that you came from a society of greatness, and you know, you were a part of the society that made it great. It's just ridiculous.
There's a lot of agitprop all over. You're right, on X, on the internet, all over. There's a lot of agitprop, right? Agitation propaganda.
Right.
And I don't know if it's coming from Iran, but it's meant to demoralize you, to not realize where you came. Yeah, I think I understand that.
Exactly. They don't want you to know how great you are. You got to realize, Nicholas, every Avengers movie, if you've ever seen the Titans or ever seen those movies of the gods that come down to Earth, it's all you. It's the soul within you. You got to realize that everything that's ever been seen through your eyes has already been done, and it's showing you how great you are.
I think I understand.
Jesse always says that you got to sit and be quiet and go within. And once you do, and you realize that this is all just like a matrix, and it's just like you can block that stuff out when you go within. And it's so amazing. And it's so incredible how Trump is making this country masculine again. You know, he brought the UFC. He tried to do the best he could with the 4th of July. The heat and humidity kind of put a bosh on that, but it was really still super cool. And now he's going to be bringing in the Indy race cars, and they're going to do a pit stop in the White House.
Nice.
I mean, how cool is
awesome.
that?
It sounds like his style.
I think the last time that any sporting event was brought to the White House was with Teddy Roosevelt, and he did a big boxing seminar. And he even got out there.
Also, it's been done before.
Yeah, it's always been like that. Okay,
that's not too violent.
Well, I think that any kind of sporting event is good for the soul. And if it hurts more, the better.
And America is somewhat violent.
Did you ever do any sporting events in high school?
You mean like be part of a team? No.
Yeah.
No. I played just for friends.
Yeah, well, I was like the lead goalie for lacrosse for like 5 years. I started varsity in 8th grade.
Say again? Sorry, something's going on with my stream. You said you did varsity?
I was in 8th grade, and they made me the leading goalie for lacrosse in 8th grade.
Right on, Barent. So what are your... You
okay,
already gave me your thoughts on Trump and Iraq. I don't really have thoughts on it. You wanted mine, but I'm not familiar with the story. But if what you're saying is true, exciting, I hope it's true. And this grand vision of a pro-West Middle East with Iran feeling the heat
it was in the 70s.
Caving. I mean, it sounds exciting. I hope it's true.
And you got to realize Nicholas, that in the 70s, before all that mullah stuff got into the Middle East, that those women were just like Western women, and they didn't.
I heard
have
that.
They did,
but
yeah,
that
they
was,
didn't
but
have
that
to,
was, but that was like that was an influence by America, though.
Correct.
Like the Shah
because,
and those pro-Western.
Correct.
The Shah, who
because
was pro-West, was basically helped in place by us, essentially, from what I heard, from what I gather.
Correct.
And the Muslim world turned on them. So it's not like it's not exactly like a, you know, it was just
right.
this,
Jimmy
everybody
Carter
wore bikinis
allowed,
all over the world, and then the Muslims came. No.
Right. Jimmy Carter allowed the Shah.
But that's pretty much enough of
Iran
that, sir. Anything last thing you want to say? Go ahead. Jimmy Carter, you were saying?
I was just going to say the Shah of Iran's gold got put into the cryptocurrency gold pot. You know, they took all the gold out of Iran and made cryptocurrency.
Oh.
You'll see.
Why do you say that? Where are you getting that from? I've never heard that.
Yeah, they stole all the gold from Iran, and they stored it in the Philippines, and then they shipped it to Australia to do the cryptocurrency, and it was I forget it was that plane that disappeared. And
I'm not sure what you're talking about, Bear, but we spent plenty of time, sir. Can you call me again? I'm sorry. I'm all thrown off. Sorry. There's someone texting me right now.
Do a little research,
I will.
Nicholas.
Send it to me.
I'm telling you, brother, you'll figure it out.
radio@jesseleepeterson.com. Send me the keys. Sir, call me again. 888-775-3773. Sorry, I got like 3 people texting me. Am I okay? Am I streaming? Am I good? I think I'm okay. Oh, crud. Hold on. I could do that later. Okay. Where were we? William, number 7, out of California. Appreciate your call. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Nicholas. How you doing today?
All is well, sir.
Good.
Nice.
Well, sorry about that.
Yes, sir.
Rookie move. You hate to see it.
Almost got him.
So I wanted to comment on that video you guys played. I actually watched it. The Walmart shooting thing.
Uh-huh. Yes. The Walmart parking lot shooting thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, just as a reminder, I'm ex-military police for 14 years. And so I was looking at that video, and I'm not going to address everything, but one thing, there was no audio to that, any of those clips, right? We have no access to that, to the audio.
I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah, I haven't heard any audio.
Me neither.
But so we don't know what was. So I have a couple questions that, if you were going to investigate such a thing, I'd be asking. First, were these strangers? Did this person know this person? Because is there history between the two of them? That would be the first thing. Is that we don't know how many times, because you could tell that clip's cut up, and she does come out with the gun, but we don't know how long that interaction was before she felt she needed to pull a gun out. And then the fact that she pointed at him, and so we don't know what she said. And I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm not saying this is what happened, but without the audio, what if she said, "You come near me," or what if he said to her, "You, I'm going to take that gun away from you and shoot you with it." Now, if someone said that and he started walking towards her, that would be intent, capability, and opportunity. He says, obviously a man, even though she looked like a pretty big woman, he might be strong. But are you really going to want to get in a wrestling match with a loaded gun? That's stupid. Now, I'm kind of embarrassed for that veteran that he would do such a thing, because to me, that was stupid, what he did. I don't know if he was on something. I don't know if he was angry. He obviously must have been angry, or he thought he was Superman, and I don't know what he was thinking. But I would not approach a woman who was upset with a gun. So him walking towards her, that would cover intent, capability, and opportunity. So if she let him get near him close enough, it's feasible he could wrestle that gun from her. And then where would she be? So I think the whole thing's kind of ridiculous that over a parking spot that a gun got pulled out, and he could have been calling her the N-word. We don't know. But definitely, he should not have. I believe it was his own fault that he died. I can't imagine, unless there's way more to the video that we're not being seen, or something to the audio that would change it. But those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. It's kind of on the fence for me, but for me, I just simply saw, for whatever reason, when she shot, for whatever reason, I believe it was not necessarily motivated out of, I truly fear my life right now, but just, what I'm feeling like? I'm feeling like I have the reason. I'm feeling like I'm justified in shooting someone I'm quite unhappy with right now, and call it self-defense for whatever reason. That's just for whatever reason I felt that way. But I really don't disagree with what you're saying. And you can close distances quickly. Like, there are many reasons why you should never allow someone to approach you if you've already decided to take out a gun. I really don't disagree with what you're saying.
She doesn't know his mental state. We don't know if he was on drugs or overdid his prescriptions. How do we know that?
Reportedly, the only thing that's been reported is that there were witnesses, and reportedly all they were fighting about was the parking spot. And what was reported said was that she did say, "Hey, back up or get away from me," or something like that.
Right.
No reports on the things that you said might have been said, but I know what you're saying, and we don't have the audio and many things we don't know. The reason I said what I said is simply for that reason. I just felt like the total motivation wasn't a fear of imminent death and bodily harm. But yeah, go ahead.
Well, all I would say is if this guy was crazy enough to try to go towards a woman with a gun that she clearly was pointing at him and told him to back away or I'll shoot, if he's that mentally unstable or is in some kind of reality that, I don't, it doesn't matter, I'm going to do what I want to do, well, then that same person would wrestle the gun from her and shoot her. So, yeah, I do think she had every, and, he's going to carry a gun, you're going to have to live with the consequences. So, but too bad they just didn't know JLP and his doctrine, because had they just walked away and just parked further away and let her have that parking spot, but I don't know.
Do you think a jury might see it as manslaughter?
Well, manslaughter is. So here's the other thing. So he got shot in the stomach, right? So in my training, and we don't know if this woman has military training. What if she's a veteran? Maybe they didn't say nothing. I don't know, but maybe not. But we were always taught to shoot to maim rather than kill. So the stomach is generally. If you're shooting in the heart, chest, and head, those are kill shots. But if she shot him in the stomach, you could reasonably argue, depending on the jury and the judge and the people on the jury and the lawyers, you could say, I was just trying to shoot him in the gut, hoping he would, back up. Now, had she shot him in the leg, that probably would have been a little more believable. But she's also nervous. I would imagine the whole thing happened so fast that they didn't realize what was going on. But all the more to follow what you guys do teach. And that's to stay out of your head, don't fight, definitely don't bring a gun. Because if you are, well, it's just going to be a mess. And that's what we saw was a mess. Right?
So do you think a jury could reasonably see it as manslaughter?
I don't know. I'd have to be each one of those jurors. Now, I've been on a jury before. I've been the head of a jury on an attempted murder trial. And I can't believe what I saw in real life. So, yeah, some people are very easily swayed. I will just tell you that. You're looking at 12 different people from different walks of life. Some are pissed they have to be there. Some want to be there. And anything's possible, Nick. Right?
Right, but do you,
It doesn't matter
William,
what I
think that reasonably it could be seen as manslaughter?
Yes, manslaughter is
And why?
taking action that takes someone's life. Because manslaughter, if you know the definition, is an intent to kill. It's just your actions cause kill. You did kill someone, and there's different degrees of manslaughter,
Right.
depending on negligence.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
So you could reasonably think, well, there's a scenario where this is not necessarily totally murder, but not necessarily complete self-defense, but still a criminal act from the lady. You're saying,
Yeah,
possibly.
we're talking about
and this
the
is
gray
why, and
shades
so this
of our law.
This is exactly why, and it's for that reason that I came at it from where I came from, but I mean, you're making a lot of sense, sir. You're making a lot of sense, to be quite honest. But for that reason, because of what we just ascertained, you could reasonably see it as some sort of criminal act from her. It's the reason why I came at it like that. But again, man, you're making a lot of sense, sir.
Yeah, no worries. That's what I just wanted to add my 2 cents in, and that's all it is.
Of course.
2 cents, maybe 3. Like I said, I was an
3
MP
pennies.
for 14 years, so
That's
maybe
true.
3 pence or 4 bits. All right. Well, thanks for taking my call, and it's been a while, Nick. I think it's been a couple months since I was able to call in on your show.
Well, thanks for calling me, man.
But,
Call me again.
Yeah. All right. Shout out.
Take it easy, sir. 888-775-3773. 888-775-3773. Lin Yan Chin with the super chat says, please tell callers to stop saying Iran and Iraq. Such putrid and wrong pronunciation. The I is pronounced like the I is pronounced like and E in Iraq and Iran and Iraq. Iran, Iraq. Sorry. Iraq. You think so, Mena? You're trying so hard to... Oh, my bad. I'm misreading that. Trying so hard to paint... Mena's trying to say... Mena Jill is saying that people are trying to paint this murder as something else. Oh, you're saying it is murder. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I think those people who are thinking that have allowed the black fatigue to corrupt them. And they're like, see, but blacks felt this way about Carmelo. And they go around ready to hurt anybody. And it's like, this was a murderer. You know what this woman was probably thinking? F this white guy. And it's like, you have to make a lot of assumptions. You got to make a lot of assumptions to make such a conclusion. What my caller, what William was simply saying is, it's a matter of logistics of having a firearm. Like, you are not going to let someone get close to you with your firearm. Like, it's some of those basics. But my bad. I only brought you up because I thought you were saying something else. I thought you were saying that I'm calling it murder and that it isn't. You were saying it is murder. I mean, look, it's just like I'm to be honest closer to self-defense, but it really was like I could reasonably see it still being some sort of criminal act. But anyways, blah 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 blah. Rick out of Hampton, Virginia. I got you on the air, sir. Appreciate your call. You're on the air.
What's going on there, my brother Nick?
Yes, sir. All is well.
Man, I want to know what happened in Maine with ICE, man, because I had some people going around telling me, ICE just got up the car and shot him.
Rick, stop. Hold on, Rick, hold on. Sorry, I didn't hear a single thing you said.
Can you hear me now?
You got to give me a second.
Okay.
James, James, you got to tell me again what you just said. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hold on, Rick. Hold on for me. Rick, just hold on.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my caller, William, what he was doing, for those who may have not heard, this is how I took it. And I'm going to get to you right here in a second, Rick. Just give me a sec. What I thought he was saying was, what William was doing was assuming or speculating. What William was doing was speculating a little bit on what may have been happening with that shooter, but that was not alleged. It was not reported. I even tried saying a little bit like, well, here's what was reported. But let me be clearer on that. Let me be more upfront on that. The William was speculating on certain things. So to my audience who was listening, yeah, there was some speculation going on from my previous caller. But right now I have Rick from Hampton, Virginia. I apologize, Rick. Thanks for the patience, man. What are you talking about?
No problem, man. What's going on, my brother Nick?
All is well. All is well. We're talking a little bit of this and that. People be shooting each other, and we all got opinions about it.
Man, that's why I'm calling for. I want to know what happened in Maine, because I had some people at work come tell me that ICE just went up and shot somebody in Maine, and I didn't believe it. I just said, I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna wait to see attitude. I'm gonna get all the evidence. I mean, because of course the media gonna push a narrative, but yet I haven't heard from ICE. So once I get all the facts together, because I currently do jury duty right now, grand jury duty. So I love the facts.
Right on.
And I just can't believe that ICE just got it in their car, pulled somebody over, and just shot them dead. I don't believe that. I was just wondering if y'all heard anything about it.
So I'm somewhat familiar. I was gonna maybe do this later on some of those details. Maybe you have them. But I, too, shared your initial skepticism on that ICE is just out here killing random people or for no reason. No, I don't believe it at all. No. And upon looking into it, I still don't believe it. But go ahead.
I'm with you on that. I mean, that's why I was saying I want to see what ICE got to say about what happened. They said he just pulled a man over in Maine and shot him dead. I said, I don't believe that. I said, I'll wait till I get all the facts before I make any kind of statement.
And so what have you concluded?
I haven't found out anything about that story yet, so that's why I was calling that. The one in Maine? See if y'all do. Yes.
Okay, so in Maine, so what was this? Just like yesterday, I think, there's a man, 26-year-old Colombian man, Juan Sebastian Guerrero, father of a young daughter, they say. Whatever. They say he was here in the country, reportedly, allegedly authorized to work, and he was heading to work.
Right.
ICE agents were surveilling an address for someone who needed to leave the country. They had a final removal order, and ICE was looking for this individual who is supposed to be out of the country. So they tried to stop a vehicle in the area that was driven by this 26-year-old I just mentioned. At that moment, DHS says the vehicle attempted to flee, and an officer fired, fearing for public safety. Guerrero was found not to be the target, but that's how that situation ended. They were looking for someone. It seemed like Guerrero was in a car, looking like one that they were looking for, and upon trying to stop him, he did what you're not supposed to do with law enforcement. And when you run and you do all this stuff, I mean, American citizens get opened up for the same risks. You can be an American citizen born and raised, but it happens all the time too, where you start running and acting squirrely with the cops, and you open up yourself to the same risks that this illegal did.
Yeah, he ran, and then the ICE agent shot him. Well, was trying to stop the was the car coming after them?
According to CNN, DHS says the vehicle attempted to flee and an officer fired, fearing for public safety.
Now, what did they mean by fleeing in fear of public safety?
I wonder, too, exactly what that means. Is it that the car was being driven erratically and the officers themselves feared for their lives? Or they feared reasonably for the life of the public? Or is it the same thing? I don't know the exact details.
Yeah, and I don't trust CNN. I never trust the liberal media because they always twisting the narrative. They always want to make it race. And We wouldn't be going through this if we weren't for President Biden letting all these immigrants in like that. We wouldn't be going through this.
Yeah, and
Go ahead.
And how bad is Mexico? Like, how crappy is Mexico? You're like, nope, you kill me before I go back. No, I'm going to flee and risk serious bodily harm in this vehicle driving erratically. I got some videos that are coming out of surveillance footage surrounding the Houston shooting, the Maine shooting. It's not very clear footage, but one thing that is clear is how squirrely if this is allegedly them, it's like, wow, you're willing to like harm yourself and others before going back to Mexico. Like, how crappy is Mexico? You know,
man, and the Houston shoot. I'm sorry, Nick.
Go ahead. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying, Rick?
And yes, I get you. I'm with you, Nick. Trust me. I just want to know. I didn't even know there was a shooting in Houston. What went on there?
So that's the other one that's getting a lot of controversy. Houston. Now it's like the seventh, a week or whatever. A 52-year-old Mexican immigrant allegedly living in the country for over 35 years, but never gaining legal status. Now allegedly he was on the way to getting legal status, but whatever. ICE agents. This is how it goes. The story goes from CNN. ICE agents conducted a traffic stop in Houston's East End as part of a targeted operation. They believed one passenger in the car that this 52-year-old Mexican immigrant was in and driving resembled a wanted individual. At that point, this Lorenzo Araujo attempted to evade. ICE claims that he rammed his vehicle into an ICE vehicle, and tried to run over an officer, leading to an agent to shoot in self-defense. Surveillance and bystander videos have emerged, with some accounts disputing the ramming claim, but that's the story.
You know, you play stupid games, you are a big stupid prize. And it seems like the media and social media are telling these people to rebel against ICE so bad. That's what I'm getting out of this.
Yeah.
You know, the media's pushing chaos. They want everybody to be in rebellion. You know. And that's the thing, you know.
They're bringing it on themselves, you're saying?
Yeah, they bring it on themselves. They go play stupid games and win stupid prizes. Then you want to blame somebody else, and then he's going to live with me and want you to, you know, he was just trying to, protect his community. You don't never obstruct justice to protect your community because that person probably committed a crime. You never know, you know.
Yeah, and what's at stake here is it's not about being mean and feelings. It's the rule of law itself. The rule of law itself is being challenged, and a crying mother will let you kill it. Will let you let it die. You know, and this is we're talking about the rule of law that's going to protect you hopefully one day.
Yeah.
You're saying no, throw that away because of a crying Mexican child. No, that can't be. Play stupid. I'm with you on that one now. Play stupid. As harsh as it is, play stupid games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with it.
You win stupid prizes. That might be a teddy bear. You know, I mean, I just don't get it, man. I mean, when you fight ICE, when you flee, and these people, they was having people thinking, I just will be shot that mother. I don't believe that. I don't believe that's a mother. And
yeah, man.
They hate Trump so much, man. They trying to say that ICE is going around here killing people, and that's not the case.
Yeah, they're making stuff up. And they're they'll turn around like Mexico is now trying to. Okay, I don't know if you heard the news. It's like Mexico's trying to sue the U.S. More specifically, what they're doing is they're calling on they're reaching out to prosecutors in the U.S. to then open up their own case. Because I was wondering, I'm like, how can Mexico sue the U.S. and why would we even care? Like, okay, have fun in your dumb court, Mexico. We're never going to go to your court. We're just, and then so I looked into it. So the way it goes is, what Claudia Sheinbaum is doing is reaching out to U.S. prosecutors and asking them to prosecute this, that it's wrongful death or otherwise. And it's like, what is it that I would ask the public? Well, which one do you believe? The ICE is actually doing extrajudicial killings, or is it that they just simply met people who don't want the law to affect them, and they will fight for that, and that's what's happening. I tend to believe the second one.
Yeah. Wow.
Rick,
well,
man.
I tell you, man, it's all right. Thank you for updating on these shootings.
Of course.
Brother Nick. Thank you for taking my call, man. Love you guys. Man. Continue to spread the truth, man. That's like anytime something go down, I don't ever trust. The only thing I do when I look at liberal news to see what happened, and I'm going automatic to research. If I got to call the Nick show, the Hake show, the JLP show,
nice.
You guys push the truth. And and these other people that are Democrats and listen to the liberal media, even with the case in Mississippi, no one knows what happened. And you notice you got Al the Buzzer Sharpton and Undertaker Crump. They all on this case, but they didn't touch the Carmelo case because they already knew he was dead in the water.
It makes
and
you
they
think.
Still don't know what happened in this case.
It makes it almost seems like there seems to be a waning in the cultural, what is the word I'm looking for? Something like the cultural, debt or gravitas, or, what I'm trying to say is that at one point, Crump and others would seem to latch onto these cases. And even though to us it was obviously they were ambulance chasing and making up these claims of racism for a payday, at least those cases seem to have more of a credibility. And by that, I don't even mean credibility. I just mean that it seemed more likely to fool the public. It seems increasingly Crump and others are attaching themselves to cases that are like even less likely to fool the public. Is it because I don't know? I'm gathering that this claim is waning. It's not having so much weight anymore, and the people have black fatigue essentially.
Yeah, and even in that case, they looking for trying to blame the white guys from killing him, why he's been murdered, but you don't know. That's why I was telling you. I said, y'all don't know, man. Y'all just, know.
Rick, I'm glad we can help you, be of some help here, sir. Is there anything else you want to speak on before we move the wheels?
No, there's nothing left. I will call you back tomorrow, brother. Thanks for taking my call. Love you, brother.
Back
God
at you,
bless
sir.
Y'all keep spreading the truth. Happy White History Month to my white sisters and brothers.
Big White History Month. Love you back, sir, and call me again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, brother Nick. Talk to y'all later.
888-775-3773. Lin Yan Chin with a super chat. I don't know what you mean here. It says, no, not vibes. Clear geometry of words/action. I'm not sure what that means or what that's in reference to, but I appreciate the support. I'll try and keep an eye out in case you explain it. But in the interim, I got William number 3, the third William, out of California. How you doing, sir? You're on the air.
My man, Tricky Ricky. Yeah. So what happened with ICE?
ICE is shooting people, man. In Maine and in Houston, you hear about those?
Okay.
They're trying to say for no reason, but we all know that's not true.
Let's go over it. Let's go over it. What happened?
Trump. So in Maine, essentially, hold on. I just had all this stuff here. Essentially, you had ICE going. They were basically looking for people in both cases. And in both cases, individuals decided to flee from ICE, and it ended badly for them. In one case, one rammed their vehicle into ICE, unmarked ICE vehicles, and that got them killed. And in the other one, something similar, not as explicit that they rammed their vehicle into another vehicle, but similar. ICE came down on them They weren't even the target, but they decided to flee, and it ended with them being killed.
Oh, wow.
That was in Maine and in Houston, and people are protesting it.
Okay. Well, I'm down here in Texas right now, and they kind of don't play around down here like we do up in California. The law, speaking of the law enforcement. I did live down here at one time in Round Rock, Texas, which is between Dallas and Austin. You notice it as soon as you get here.
Oh, yeah.
You can just see the law enforcement don't play around. I'm just talking just the regular police. We ain't even going to talk about Border Patrol and state police. You could just see that they don't play around. So
nice.
So what's the problem that they have?
Well,
in other words, the crime is not legal in Texas like it is in California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, they just have a problem with. They just don't believe that these people should be. That they have to follow the rules and be legal and a citizen like everybody else. They don't feel like they should have to follow those rules, and they won't say it like that, but that's essentially what they're saying.
Basically, their actions are showing that they're basically saying, without verbally saying it, is that I don't have to follow the rules.
Basically, and they're saying, well,
and I can come here.
And when the law comes down on them and it goes badly, they feel justified to protest and go out and say, well, that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But they offer no real explanation for that.
Yeah. There's just no way I would protest anything, actually. You ain't going to find me out there. I got too much to do to be bothered with that. On the other hand, you are breaking the law if you're here illegally. And if your work visa ran out, you are on paper here illegally. Now, were these just random stops or did they have a target?
They were, reportedly it was targeted. And then it went kind of awry. In one case, they weren't even targeting the individual who was killed, wasn't even the target, and allegedly was legally authorized to work, but allegedly, reportedly, there was no
expired.
That person's dead. 26-year-old Guerrero, allegedly, reportedly, was legally authorized to work in the U.S., but instead of just talking to the ICE agents or whatever, he fled, and it didn't end well for him.
Well, we haven't looked into the fact that, we got to wait till ICE get the details.
Yeah.
Okay, he's here on a work visa. That's basically what you're saying. He's here on a work visa.
As a report, allegedly, that's what it may have been.
All right.
And so he wouldn't have necessarily had a reason to flee like that.
Right. Nick, you do know those expire, right?
Yes.
All right. So it sounds like his visa expired.
Yeah, it may have been that, but like I said, reportedly he's legal, which suggests if he's reportedly documented to work it suggests that it had not lapsed. But I don't know that. I don't know that for sure.
We don't know that yet, though, huh?
Mm-hmm.
We just don't know. About the police or any state troopers or any law enforcement, especially a federal agency like ICE, they will use lethal force on you.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't get that.
Like I was telling Rick, it's the same risks you incur even if you're a citizen, born and raised in America. You decide to run from the cops, you might die.
Same thing.
Depends on what happens, but you might die.
Did that, yeah. If I did that with a car, they're going to shoot at that car. And that's all it is to it. Have you ever seen a high-speed chase when somebody flees the police?
You said what?
You ever see a high-speed chase with somebody fleeing the police
right.
in a car?
I have.
Some of them last for hours and put a lot of people in danger. And I think there was a baby killed somewhere in the Carolinas recently. And as usual, the liberals and gropers are having a fit.
Yeah.
How do you think that family feels about their baby that's not even 2 years old and it struck the car and killed the child instantly? You do know if you flee the police, that car is a lethal weapon.
It can be, yeah. It can become a weapon pretty quickly.
Yeah. So I don't know what we need to find out what the details are. But yes, if you are even an American citizen, if you flee the police, they have green light.
You might die.
I don't know why they don't know. You good possibility. They got the green light. I don't know where this thing came from where the police cannot discharge their weapons on you. I don't know where they're coming from with that. Another thing is I don't know where the blacks come from with the same thing. Listen to these. That it's like a whole album. And you've heard these records before. I didn't do nothing. Call my mama. I'm not getting out the car. You stopping me because I'm black.
It's hits.
What
These
else?
are all hits.
There's another one. You forgot the number one hit. I can't breathe.
I can't breathe? Oh, my
breathe
gosh.
You're talking.
I forgot.
How could you not breathe and you're talking?
This is like a late night commercial when they're playing, when they're like, buy this album. And it's like on the screen, all the song names are scrolling up. And it's like, with such hits, like, I didn't
It's
do
a
it.
gold album. Yeah, it's a gold album. Call my mama. You can't touch me. I don't know who told you that. Carmelo was finding that out.
That's right.
Don't touch me. Call my mama. It's because I'm black. You're a racist. Oh, wow. This is the flip side. Side B is something else.
Hands up, don't
Call
shoot.
the supervisor. No, call the supervisor. How about that?
That's funny, man.
And then
Side
the
Bs.
ending
You
of
gotta
the
get
album
disc
is gonna
2.
be
You gotta get disc
the
2.
last cut on the album. Wait a minute. Which one? You got another one?
No, you going.
The last one on the album is going to be Call 911. Call 911. You're talking to a police officer. And do you know you can get a charge for call? Yeah, you know you can get a charge for calling 911 on an officer that's right there in real time with you. You know you get a charge for that, right?
Yeah, they could hit you with like misusing 911.
Yeah. Call my mama. That's the one.
That's too funny.
You are grown as hell living with your mama. Get a job. You call your mama. I don't know.
Cops will often respond like that. They'll be like, you're grown. You're an adult. I'm not going to call your mother.
What do you mean call your mama?
I'm not going to call your mother. You're an adult.
What is this? What is this? Call your mama. Call the supervisor. What's the supervisor going to do? Nick, let's talk about that one. What is the supervisor going to do if you're handcuffed in the back of a squad car?
They'll like show I've seen so many videos where they'll say that and a supervisor does show up. So somewhere along the line, they made a law, I think. Somewhere along the line, they made some law or made some rule that if you call a supervisor, a supervisor has to show up. But often in those videos, the supervisor will show up and say, yeah, the cop here is correct. Carry on.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a little older than you, buddy. But what do you think they used to do back in the 60s and 70s without body cam?
That's a good question. Actually,
Get the brakes
I really
beat
wonder.
off you. That's what. Get the brakes beat off you. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, the brakes beat off you. Now they don't allow that anymore, but you can be sort of an a-hole with the officer, or you can be cool with the officer. I think it was 10 years ago. I didn't get a ticket. And it was in this area, Round Rock. I got stopped. Lights come on. I'll stop. I said, oh, man, was it? And he goes like this. Well, you can't go directly in that driveway for the store right there. I said, oh, I can't. I didn't know that, officer. He said, no, why don't you just come on and follow me? I'll show you how to do it. You do a jug handle, you turn right down here, and it'll put you on the same side of the street and everything. I said, do you need my license, registration, proof of insurance? He said, oh, no, man, we don't do that around here, man. You okay. See you later, buddy.
There you go. There you
You're
go.
cool with them. Yeah, it is. If you're cool with them, they pretty much cool with you because they don't really want to touch you.
Wow, it's almost like they're people or something. It's almost like they're people
What if you
doing
was
a job
cop? Do you really
or
want to
something.
touch anybody? Would you want to touch everybody?
That's paperwork.
They don't really want to touch you.
That's paperwork.
Oh, that too.
That's more work.
There was a guy told me down here in Round Rock. Oh no, buddy! All you got to do is just make a little jug handle right down there at the end of the street. You don't know how to do it. Just follow me.
what
I'll
handle?
put you right in good direction.
A
jug
what?
handle.
Jug
Basically, a U-turn.
Oh,
you
U-turn.
know,
Jug handle. I never
go
heard
to
that.
the end. Yeah. Yeah, you say go to the end. Don't turn directly in the store lot from coming from the opposite direction. There's no lane, turn lane in the middle. Basically, is what he was saying. So he says, just go all the way down and it. And if you don't know how to do it, good buddy, I can follow you. Come on, just follow me.
There you go. That's funny.
No ticket. That was the last time I got stopped. No ticket.
That's the way she
That's the
goes
way it
sometimes.
goes. I didn't tell him to call my mama at 150 years old.
Call my mama. Call my mama.
Call my mama.
Your license and registration. Call my
dinosaur.
mama. Call
you
my
are
mama.
a fossil.
I just
you
need your license.
You are a walking fossil when you talk about calling your mama.
I see too many videos like that.
You're a racist. No, he's not racist. Check this out, Nick. You are not that important.
True say.
And they do not want to touch you. I mean, if they have to, they will.
Right. But you want to avoid it. That's more work. That's more paperwork. William, sir, anything else you want to speak on before we move the wheels? We're here in the last minute of the show.
Let's get out of here, man. And I guess we just wait and see what happens with the guy or the case or whatever happened with these people. They are here illegal, and a lot of people like to go, well, Obama deported more than anybody. Yeah, but his third term under Joe Biden, okay, he let them back in.
And by like insane amounts.
Obama did deport a lot of people, but
millions.
When Joe came in, he let millions. And then when Joe came in, he basically let the same people back in. And Trump's getting them out. So
travesty.
Yeah. Your feelings are hurt. Oh, wow, you're demonstrating for somebody who ain't supposed to be here. And you ain't got a damn job in the middle of the street protesting it. Go figure.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, that's another thing that gets me about it. They're so mama about each other. Let's say you're an individual and your father is getting deported. It's like, you may not like it, but that's not you. Your father is going to be fine. Let him figure out his life. That's so mama, like for others.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's their life.
Said if they catch you by force, you ain't going to be able to come back. It's been said. We got to force it. We got to do all this stuff to get you to leave, and then you can have a chance to come back legally. And we got to run you down. You won't have that chance to come back.
Yes, AI will. AI will employ. We'll employ AI for this. This is what AI can be used for.
Nick, you're the last one, buddy. You're the only one we want.
Base ladder puller.
There'll be no more.
I done pulled that ladder.
They got them in. They got them in your chat. They sitting up there jockeying, trying to be. All they want to do is be an American, Dick. But it's not happening. You're the last one.
You heard it here first. You heard it, folks.
You're the only one that we want. You and Mike.
Say it louder for the immigrants in the back.
You and Money Mike are the only ones we want. We don't want the rest of them. That's what they're mad about. Oh, I don't like Trump. Yeah, I know you don't because he ain't letting you come.
When the tribunals happen, sir, I hope you back me up. But otherwise, I wish you well, America. William, man, call me again.
Yeah. Talk to you later.
Folks, that's pretty much it for me. More American Anchor Baby tomorrow. That's Black Excellence tomorrow, dude. Don't miss it. But what Black Excellence, Manhood Hour, The Hake Report, and then more American Anchor Baby. All right, folks, take care for now. See y'all tomorrow. We done did the super chats, the calls, and all that. Let me check really quick before we go. Not too quickly. to make sure that we got all the super chats. All right, folks. See you tomorrow. Take care. Peace. Oh, little Nick too. He's got to say bye. Bye.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.